Hi everyone, I thought I would just come on here and talk to you a little bit about my birthing experience. As you've been following my videos, you know that I was seeing a high-risk doctor as well as my OB. And when I got into my third trimester, I was seeing my high-risk doctor almost every other day and my OB at least once a week. This was to monitor me as somebody that was high risk to ensure that me and the baby were safe. The plan was to actually have me deliver at 38 weeks, and my delivery date was actually at 39 weeks around June 4th. So the plan was to just deliver me a week early just to be safe, because the baby can actually survive out of the womb and they didn't want to take any chances. What ended up actually happening in my situation is that I developed high blood pressure very quickly. My blood pressure was consistent throughout my pregnancy. It was a good rate. And then when we got to probably, I would say around 34 weeks, it really, it was really high. So they diagnosed me with a gestational hypertension, and they were just monitoring me closely to ensure that, to kind of see how the blood pressure was going. Because typically what happens, folks, is if you have high blood pressure, you could end up developing preeclampsia, which can cause seizures at a moment's notice, a stroke, and it's really, really dangerous for both the mom and the baby. So it was kind of like at the cusp. And so what actually happened was, in order to monitor my gestational hypertension, they admitted me into the hospital overnight. So I actually stayed at the hospital overnight. And I'll have to do a separate video because that was really eye-awakening for me, because I was not prepared. I had not yet packed my bag, put everything that I need for delivery, because you think that it's a little too early, and in my mind I was thinking 38 weeks. So it was, in a way, kind of good that that happened, because immediately I was discharged the next day. I made sure that I had all my stuff packed and ready to go, just in case. But anyway, so they monitored me, and then went into triage. And triage is where they kind of monitor you before they take you to delivery. And so I was there, and then they released me to go home. I continued with my appointments. And then when I reached 35 weeks, going on 36, my blood pressure was really, really high. Oh, my baby. So what ended up happening was, at one of my appointments at 35 weeks, not only did I have high blood pressure, and I was trying to kind of keep it down, but they said that they were nervous about the placenta not giving enough nutrients to the baby. And sometimes that can lead to stillbirth. And so I had to go into delivery that day. The difference is, this time I had all my stuff in the car. I just called my husband. He's working remotely, and I just told him to just work his way. And I'd gotten enough advice from my friends to make sure that I ate before going in. So that's what I did. I literally left the appointment, went downstairs to the cafe. It was in the afternoon anyway, so then I ate, and then I was checked into a delivery room, and my plan was to go through an induction, because I do tend to be anemic, and I didn't want to go through a C-section because you lose a lot of blood that way. So the plan was to do an induction. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So I was admitted to do the induction, and the first step that they did was to kind of open up your cervix to kind of get you prepped. And mine wasn't opening up the way that they would like, so they put balloons in me. They actually did that twice. They put in 2 balloons, and they put in one just to kind of open up my cervix, and they were monitoring me. And then they gave me Pitocin and monitored me again. And then when I was about 6 centimeters dilated, I did ask for my epidural, which I did receive. Then I started gaining feeling in my, at the time with epidural, it was my right leg that I started gaining feeling again. My left was numb, and so I thought that was odd. And guys, I started feeling contractions. The contractions to my right, I could feel them. So the anesthesiologist comes in, and it's a different one this time, and he says that they can, in some rare cases, they have had to give the epidural again because to be able to offer the pain management. And here I am thinking, hold on, I think my baby is having a dream. Yeah, he's having a dream. So that, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, all the rumors about epidurals, they cause back problems, they can cause a stroke. Now they're gonna inject me twice. This is ridiculous. But I was feeling pain from the contractions. And so I agreed to getting a second epidural. So they got me prepped, got me a second epidural. Felt fine, a couple of contractions went by. And then I started gaining feeling in my left leg, and my right leg became numb. When I tell you the pain in that I felt, the contractions I felt with my left leg coming back to life, were triple what I was feeling with my right leg. And they give you a medication that you can kind of use, but you can only use it every 15 minutes. So if there's any contraction in between that time, you have to endure it. Guys, it felt like razor blades scraping my insides every time I had a contraction. I mean, I felt like I was in medieval times. It was one of the most painful experiences to go through those contractions. And I was screaming for bloody murder because I've gone through 12 IVF cycles. I'm tired, I don't want any pain. I was clear that I wanted pain management right from the beginning. I had no desire to prove anything. I think I've proven myself undergoing 12 IVF cycles to get one baby. There's nothing for me to prove. I just wanted to go deliver this baby and bring it earthside. And it was just, what an experience. So to make a long story short, the only way that they could circumvent this issue was to go ahead and proceed with the next birth plan, which is a cesarean. The same anesthesiologist came in and he was like, trying to tell me that it's a different part of the body that they numb. And he asked if I trust him, and I said no. But then we went for it, and the cesarean ended up working out. And the doctor was really nice. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna feel anything, because that was my worst fear, was maybe there was something wrong with my body, that I don't respond to these medications, and that I would feel them cutting me through the C-section, and then I wouldn't be able to say anything. But I ended up not feeling anything except the pressure that they said. They warmed up the room for me so that I was comfortable, so I didn't feel like that cold feeling. They sometimes say that when you're in that room you feel kind of cold. It actually went pretty smoothly and very, very fast. And baby Simba came into the world. And so, yeah, that was my birthing experience. And so I ended up, the induction took about, I would say maybe 2.5 to 3 days of being induced. And then we did the C-section. So I ended up staying at the hospital a total of about 6 days, because when you have a C-section, they like to monitor you for 3 days before they discharge you. And so that was that. And typically they move you into a room. You guys probably saw in my video when I was just kind of sharing with you some real life videos of this. And then they put a catheter just to help you go, because they did a major surgery. And then they come in and take care of you and the baby. And so it ended up being a good experience. But it was traumatizing a little bit at the time, because the pain was just so much and not anticipated. But everybody's birth experience is different. So yeah, so guys, that was my birthing experience. What was your birthing experience? So what questions do you guys have? I'm thinking that as we continue sharing these experiences, having gone through IVF and the journey of bringing the baby earthside, that it's just good to talk about it, particularly for first-time moms who are undergoing this experience. So let me know your thoughts below about your birthing experience, or if you haven't yet, what is your plan going in? Thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.